Hi, I'm David Leverett with Breezy Ryder. I'm here today to show you how to install your Breezy Ryder seat cover, which you're going to love because it's going to keep you cool all day during your ride and take away a lot of that vibration, just really make your ride a much more enjoyable event. But first you have to put it on. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out by, when you take it out of the package, it's going to look a lot like this. It's going to be folded. This is the bottom, and then this is the top of your Breezy Ryder. You'll notice that the paracord is tied. Leave it tied, because if you untie it, it may wind up being pulled back into the skirt of this, and it'll be hard to get back out. So leave this tied while you're putting it together, and if it comes untied, just put a quick knot into it to keep it from coming untied and going back in. So then what you're going to do is just open up these two pieces. And of course, you're going to be starting this after you've already removed your seat from your bike. And then you're going to line up the top pieces of foam, the padding, to the top of your seat. You want to make sure that this is centered. You'll see there's a seam at the front, so you want to make that centered with the front of your seat. And then you're going to kind of make sure you're centered at the back of your seat. Just fill it all along to make sure everything's nice and centered. And then you're going to do the same with the back seat. You're going to make sure you're centered and sitting right on top of where you want the pads on the seat. You're going to push it down into the contour and just make sure you're good and centered on the seat. If yours is a double up seat with the hole for the back, you're going to take your two pieces of Velcro that come with it, that are attached, push them down into the little hole. We'll address that a little bit later. And so then you're going to just take this and you're going to pull the sides down and try to get them to come underneath the edges like this. And once you get it all up underneath the edges and everything looks pretty good, then you're going to flip your seat over and you're going to kind of hold it in place so you don't lose where everything's lined up. And then you're going to pull it. Now this one's been on a couple of times. When you first get it, it's going to be a bit tighter and you may have to kind of really work at it and do the drawstrings in. As you're doing it, make sure it's going over the edges, and you're just going to keep drawing it in until it kind of looks like this. So now I'm going to take this old knot out and I'm going to put the new knot in. And I will say it helps to have an extra person around to put a finger on this knot once you get started here, just so you don't start losing it. You want good and snug, so I'm just going to hold the knot there, and we're just going to put for temporary, I'm just going to pull this here, just to hold this where it is. And then I'm going to take these are your 2 points that you want to draw it in good and snug, because that's what makes it sit on the seat correctly. And you flip it over, you've got pretty good contour of the seat. Everything looks good and contoured, it looks good and straight. That's what you want to check, because once you get this hole really tight, it's really hard to move, just because it does have the slip knot underneath the seat. So you want to make sure this is a little crooked, so I want to kind of take this and pull it over, get it nice and lined up. Okay, lined up now. Before I drawstring it even tighter. So now I'm going to undo where I had, and I'm going to draw it a little tighter. And this is where you could use somebody else's hand if you had somebody around, but we're going to do it by myself just so that you can. You're just going to hold the knot where you've done that, loop it over, and bring this up here. And this is where you're going to use your mouth just a little bit. Just grab this and pull it, and I've got this on. I've got this in a really good knot now. You want to keep this extra line, so you might just want to tie it off just so you don't have a whole bunch of extra stuff, because if you take it off later, you don't want these drawstrings, again, going up in there and you can't hardly get them back out. So if you just kind of loop this and tie it in a little knot there, just to get rid of that excess. These two pieces of Velcro that you push down below, this piece comes with a hook that's got adhesive on the back. I've already put the other ones in place, but you're just going to put it down in the seat on your vinyl. You want to clean that first with some alcohol. So clean that off with some alcohol, and then you take these and just stick them on there, and then you pull these pretty snug down to that Velcro. Once you've done that on both sides, down in the hole, your seat is all put together and you're ready to ride. It's that simple.